Łukasz Napora was a co-creator of one of Poland's biggest music festivals, Audio River. He was there from the inception until 2017 and was responsible for marketing, public relations and partly for the programme. Every year was a sellout from 2013 onwards, and the event now gathers 30,000 people over 3 days. Łukasz is currently working as a freelance consultant and helps all kinds of music and brands with getting their message across. His list of clients include jazz pianist Paweł Kaczmarczyk, Warsaw Club Sketch Night, as well as an international PR agency, Grayling. He also gives lectures on public relations at the Academy for Music Managers. Łukasz used to be a music journalist for over 15 years. He was the editor-in-chief of T-Mobile Electronic Beats show on 4Fun TV and was co-responsible for electronicbeats.pl. Prior to that, he had his own show on Polish Radio 4, worked for 3 different TV stations as a host, and had his own column in a music magazine and co-created soundrevolt.com, a bilingual website dedicated to electronic music. Welcome to Poland Daily Culture. I'm Jon Carter, and on this week we'll be looking into Polish electronic music. I'm joined by my guest today, Mr. Łukasz Napora.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. I remember people in like the Old Town Square jumping in the fountains and stuff. They were all Poles.
That's a different story. It's like when you go to the river, it's a different dimension. I'm not saying Polish don't have that in themselves. I'm saying that there's not that many of us, and we need encouragement. I played as a DJ. I used to be a DJ for a while, and I played on some parties. I remember one roof party in Łódź, and I think it was 8. And there was some. It was in a 4-star hotel or 5-star hotel, and a bit of posh, and people were like looking at each other, what's going on. And I remember I wasn't playing yet. I remember going to the toilet and going back, and there was no one dancing. And when I came back, the dance floor was pretty full. And what happened? They shut down the light. They shut down the light that was like in the hallway somewhere, like on the side of the wall. People were waiting for the light to shut down because they didn't want to be seen dancing. So that's one of the barriers we as a nation probably need to cross, and we're crossing it more and more. It's a different story when you have an after party, like on Audio River. You were dancing for 10 hours in the night, and you're going to dance in a day. You don't care. You're at the same party. But when you're going, sober, without any beer or anything, and you go there, and so people are looking at funny, like, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, who's going to make the first move?
Yes, exactly. Oh, he's moving strange.
Yeah.
The people, we are also judgmental sometimes, so we don't, and we know we're judgmental, so we don't want to be judged, so... And it's great that we're dancing more and more in the daylight. I remember parties in Plażowa. It was in Warsaw on the right bank of Wisła, and also there was a party from 4 p.m. and the first dancer showed up at 9. Like when the sun went down. Yeah. So I'm happy it's changing.
Electronic music is a way of connecting people, gathering together just for the feeling.
All right, I've got one last question for you then, as maybe this kind of
dovetails nicely to the end. So what, if you could answer it without being too vague,
I better go.
what would you say do you think that the future holds for Polish electronic music? Now, you kind of, I guess you kind of touched on it a little bit already, but you're talking about the down tempo and ethno beats, etc.
I would take a different direction with this question. There are two answers. One answer is I hope the future is bright, because what I was always lacking in Poland are the producers. We had a party scene and we didn't have a music scene. I'm sorry, DJs can be creative, but many of them aren't. They're just playing someone else's music and drinking drinks and having girls, which is one of the reasons guys pick up guitars. One of the reasons there are more guitarists and DJs than DJs is because we are more attractive to women then. So that wasn't the music scene. And when we get more producers, when we start creating more, and more producers that are not leaving, and there are some like that. There's Dees, which is a huge techno producer, and he's releasing on one of the best techno labels out there. So he's in Krakow and has a studio here, and I don't think he's planning to move yet. But if we get more people like that, if we see that if they start getting abroad gigs and getting paid more for their work, more people will see that it's possible to make a living out of it. So they're going to stay and going to make a healthy music scene. Maybe we're going to have some UK garage then. We're going to have some Polish techno then. Maybe. But we need to have this kind of stuff. And it's possible because we are breaking into the world right now. There's more and more names from Poland breaking there. So that's one thing. The other question is, I hope electronic music will not eat its tail before that happens. Because I haven't been, when I left Audio River 1.5 years ago, I was also a bit fed up with electronic music. Everything started to sound the same for me. Right. But it's also a bit of my problem. I used to listen to death metal when I was 8, and then I was listening to rock, and I was into hip hop. And when everything started to get boring, I started to move elsewhere. I'm like a vampire of music. So I thought, okay, this is, for me, I think I've had enough. I need to start looking for other things. But a year later, I checked the music I was fed up with, and nothing's changed. I don't think it's evolving that much as I would like to. So I hope that electronic music will start developing again and be more interesting, because if we stick to the same music and to the same artists, because that's one of the main issues for me, is like we see all these big DJs all the time, the same names in clubs. People are gonna go somewhere else, go where it's more interesting. So on one side, I wish electronic music to be more discovery, let's say, more
pioneering.
Pioneering, yeah. It used to be experimental. I want it to be more experimental. I want people to see more. There's a lot of experimental music, but it's not, breaking to the audience. So I wish that happens, and then, of course, Polish people to have bigger role in the world scene.
Yeah, fantastic. Right then, Mr. Łukasz Napora, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Join us next time on Poland Daily Culture, and we'll be back again same time tomorrow. Goodbye.